So what I have here today is this shelf that I built for my Hot Wheels, mainly for the Batman ones I have, because I had a whole lot of those. And, well, I'm going to show you how to build this from start to finish. I didn't find any plans or building stuff, blueprints online. I built this basically how I thought, mine should look like. But, I'll show you how I built this. Start off by measuring first. Now, let's see here. Let's figure out what size this is. It's about 3.5 inches. We'll write that down. And each shelf is also 10 inches wide. Even. And you need about 3 of those for each shelf, or you could build them any way, because I didn't really follow a plan, like I said. See the space? I put about 2 inches. Well, at least on this shelf it looks like I put a little less, partly because the wood was warped. So let's see here. So I think it was about a 2-inch gap. I may have to recalculate it, but anyways, we'll go with the next piece, which is 7 inches, right? A little over 7 inches, 7.25. What's the other side? Just about 7.25, maybe. Just about 7.25. Let me go pick this up. So I need 2 side pieces, which are 7.25 long. So I need 2 of those, and width probably could be anything. This here is like about, let's see, I think it's 1.25, about 1.25, I guess. I'm just rounding low because I got it wide the way I found it in the store. I didn't really have to trim it at all, but you could probably trim it down. Anyways, that's this shelf. I'll show you the materials you're going to need, and I might have to recalculate this, so I might show my list measurements again. Anyways, the materials you need. First is this. It's called a balsa strip. Now this you can find in the hardware department, or hardware store. I have Menards, and they have a little hobby section. That's where I found these, and it's like balsa strips. I think they're about 1/8 thick, and they're square. The reason for these is to keep the cars from falling off. So if the shelf is tilted or it's on a tilted surface, the cars won't fall right off. Okay. Next thing you need is material. I have materials here. These are the shelf pieces, and these are the side pieces. Now these are a little different, but I won't do anything to them. I won't chop them down at all. I'll just put them on there and just cut them to the 7 inches or 7.25 inches I need. Now these pieces of wood I only paid 50 cents. They had something called a bargain section, so these boards cost 50 cents each. I may not need them all, but if I have a little extra, I could, if I messed up, I could fix the problem. Let's see. You'll also need is like a saw of some kind. I will be using a table saw to cut these. Maybe a miter saw, but I'll probably try out my table saw because that rarely gets used. But miter saws work real good for cutting these down. You also need glue, maybe nails. I tried screwing this, putting screws in there, and it splits the wood. Not a good idea then. And I could put like these cuts in the sides, called dados, but I may try it first before I actually do the full project on that. And you can clear coat it or stain and clear coat, but this one I just clear coated. You could probably just leave it bare if you want. And but it looks nice. I actually put this on top of another shelf. I think that's about it. I think any other materials that I might list later. You might also want to have a power sander to sand these off. Oh, and if you want to find these are known as furring strips. They sell them about this wide, and they're real long. They're like 10 feet. That's why I bought these instead of those. Not sure if my store had this size, but this is about the size of a Hot Wheel car. So they should fit on there. This is also a furring strip. These I know they had, and they're like 10-foot strips, and the car I had I don't think would accommodate it that well, so I didn't get it that day. So all in all, this project might cost a little under $5. We'll figure out the numbers and be right back. So for this part of the Hot Wheels shelf project, you need to measure. I did draw a little sketch. I used to do drafting, so we'll start off with this. What you need is a tape measure, straight edge, I think, and a pencil of some kind. I'm using a carpenter pencil I had. This is the store I bought the wood from too. Anyways, start off. Since this wood is already pretty much the right size I need, I only need the length of it. So this is 3.5 inches. And that's about the size of a Hot Wheel cut. But I'm looking for 10 inches. And you may want to cut off like the bad portions, so depending on where you want to measure. I need about 10 inches per shelf. See how long wood this is? About 24 inches. So what we'll do is we'll cut the first piece first. Let's see. Or maybe we'll measure them out. Right about here. That's about 10 inches. Gotta see where I can see my line. Okay. You should always measure twice or as many times as you think you need. It's a little off, or is it? Maybe it's a little off. No? Maybe I'm just... Yeah, it might be because of the tool I'm using. Just hold on for a second. I got another tool. So this is the tool I was looking for. I wanted to draw a straight line, and I think this isn't straight enough, so just put it over here. And you can be a little over when you cut. You want to be over, not under, because you can always like sand it off or finish it a little. Now let's see that line. Yeah, just about perfect. When I cut this, I'm going to cut probably in between this line here. Okay. Next, I'm gonna start from here and measure another 10 inches. So, which is right here. A little over. Okay. Then, like I did before, use the straight edge. Okay, I'll leave that piece as a leftover. I'll probably use this piece for propping it up. Yeah. And I need one last piece for the shelf. Yeah. I may cut this edge off first. But anyways, I showed you how I measured. So each shelf is 10 inches. And this wood is already cut to the right width I need. Next thing, I need to cut a side. I'm not sure which piece I want to use. They're both a little rough. Might be able to sand it. Like this. Yeah, these pieces are a little rough. But I bought extras in case I needed extra. Okay, so let me see what I wrote. So, with furring strips, they're usually cut to the right size. This is a different size than the one I used last time. But what you need is about 7, where did I write sides? 7 1/4 inch. So, mark it from here. Here's 7, and I think this is about 1/4. Okay, I need to get the straight edge for that. Go a little under. You don't want to be way off. Okay. And that's about 7 1/4, maybe a little more. And then we'll mark the last shelf, last side. I'm going to go a little bit in. So, let's see here. Right about there. And mark another 7 1/4. Right about here. Okay. What do I need? Okay. And I think that's it for the measuring. The balsa strips don't really need to be cut on a table saw. A pair of scissors will do. But anyways, we'll get the saw ready. So here's my table saw. It's not really fancy. It's like a $100 table saw, and I haven't used it a whole lot, and that's the reason why I want to use it. You could either use a miter saw or a hand saw, but like anything like this, use it at your own risk. If you don't know how to use it, don't use it. But anyways, here's the equipment you need: is safety glasses and hearing protection. And you're supposed to have the guards on, but sometimes the guards on here bind with the blade. And you also need this. I think it's called a miter gauge. You can't use a ripping fence for it unless it's forgot what you call it. Yeah, you cut miters with that, and I think it's called cross cutting. I don't remember. It's been a while because I used to do this in high school, and that's how I learned how to do it. Adjustments with the saw blade. You're supposed to have it just over the piece of wood, the tip of the teeth, so it'll cut right through. I think that's about it. But anyways, just listen to the safety from if you have a saw or whatever. But like I said, use at your own risk. Don't blame me if you get hurt, because these can be real dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. But anyways, get these ready. I'll turn off the camera. So with your eye and ear protection on, you should line this up with the blade. Make sure you don't cut the line down the middle, cut it to the side. Okay, we'll see if we can fit this on here. Yeah, I think I cut something off and that's why it's kind of messed up. And the wood might be warped, so if you get warped wood, you might want to be careful, because I don't think you're supposed to use it on here. But let's see. I think that's everything, so we'll fire it up. Kind of got in the way. I don't know if I messed up my camera. Let's see. Measure. It looked like it was a little cut off. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. It looks like it cut off glasses. I think I took off a little too little on that cut. It's a good thing, I guess. Take off. Let's see here. Measure it again. Yeah, maybe I'll take a little bit off. safety glasses back on. Just about, maybe a little off, but I could always sand it down a little. I'll probably need a lot of sanding. Okay, next we need the next piece. Cut this off. And maybe I should see the glasses on. Okay. Now I need to measure again. Let's see. Okay. So grab my pencil and we'll chop off a little. And we'll fire this back. I think that's about it. We'll be back with the shelf part next. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is cut this shelf, and then I'll just do one for the camera, and then I'll cut it off camera. But like I said, you can use any saw you feel comfortable with if you want to make this shelf. Miter saws are probably better, but if you don't know how to use it, you might have to find someone else that can help you. But like I said, it's dangerous, and if you don't feel comfortable doing it, there's other things you can do to make a shelf. Or like in my room, I also hang cars with tack and stick, and I'll maybe show you that later. Anyways, without talking, let's see, I gotta line up the line again, make sure that the blade is lined up with it. Make a little off. Okay, I need to put on some hearing protection. Like I said, always wear goggles and safety glasses. If you don't wear either or, it might hurt you later on in the future. Like if all of a sudden you're an old man and you can't hear anything, or you can't see anything because you lost your eye. Because in woodshop, that's what my teacher always talked about, was, you know, you lose an eye or your actual fingers too. Anyways, we'll start this up. A little off. Anyways, that's about it. And I'll finish cutting these off camera. So what I did here was I cut this like dado-like cut. I don't have a dado blade. I think it's a special blade, but I just used the regular saw, and I cut this little slot in. Let's see. So now the shelf will sit right here instead of sitting on the surface. So it'll give it a little, I guess, extra hold, and it's a lot easier to put together when it has that little slot on there. So show you what I did. So what I did is I took a piece of the wood and kind of lined it up to the edge here, and then just drew the thickness of this. Didn't line it up right. There we go. So I'll show you how I did it. What I have to do is put my safety glasses on and prepare the cut. Shorten the blade a little so it'll be lowered down. So it's, I think it might be a quarter or eighth of an inch I put in there. So this way. Okay. Okay, and you turn it on. I like to sand this down, or I could chisel that down, but that's it. And oh, that's how I did the dado cut. So when I put it together, it might be a little easier. And we'll be back in a bit. The next thing I would do on this project is maybe measure the parts that I cut out. Make sure they're all measured right. I think they might be slightly off, but sanding might help. They got to be at least 10 inches. These shelves have to be no lower than 10 inches. Well, maybe a little lower, but no higher. Right. And let's see, we measure these. And they're about the right size I need. I put the notches in each one. Now the shelves will all fit in them. Okay. How I found this. These I took like the shelf, the top shelf, and just put it to the edge here, and then took a pencil, and then how far this went down, I cut a mark off, and that's how I cut these in. You want to cut in between the lines, like how I did this. You want to go on this side of the line, not on this side of the line. But I did accidentally miscut this one, so I kind of matched them up. You can match them up too. Let's see. I found center. Wrote that on the paper because I couldn't. It's hard to explain. Yeah. So I took from the end of each cut, these end cuts, and divided them in half. And then I took the shelf. I measured the size of the shelf, and then took half off that and minus. It's real complicated. So I minused a half from each side, and that's how I found center. It's a little difficult though, but but I finished it. So everything measured right. Next thing I would do is sand it. I probably won't do it on camera because it will probably take about half hour or so, the most, to get all this down. Usually you start off with the more rougher grit. This is 100. I was gonna do 60. I don't even have that one because I think all those wore out. But you would go all the way to the finer grit, which is like what I have is 200. There might be even finer than that, but that's it. So I gotta remove all the pencil markings, anything that's rough like this, and make sure it's nice and smooth. And I think the last step or next step might be putting it together and gluing. Okay, everything seems to be in order, and I'll be back with this all sanded up once I have something to say. Another thing with sanding, you're supposed to go with the grain, because I think if you go against it, this way, it leaves scratches in it. But that's it for now. So this is the last part of the project. What you need is a hammer, glue, and some nails. The nails I have are finishing nails. I think you could use a little smaller, but these are the only ones I can find right now. What size are these? I'm not sure. It's 1 1/4. And the glue is mainly to help hold it together a little better. I remember in wood shop we used to glue and screw, but like I said way early on, that I don't want to use screws because the last time it caused the wood to split. But anyways, we'll start up. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach both bottoms. Hopefully both of these are lined up right. Make sure they're not off center or something. Let's see. Look about right, maybe a little off. Let me see. I think they're about right. Anyways, we'll start off with gluing the bottom. Now you want to make sure you put the bad side facing away so you don't see it. So since this is a little rough, that's the part that's going to be the back. You do that in everything. Make sure nothing exposed. So put a little glue on this. Oh, okay. Glue on this, kind of pulled off the top. This bench is a little weird when you work on it. Sometimes it'll collapse on itself. Okay. Another thing you need is a little wet paper towel or rag, whatever. Because if you want to stain it, you gotta get the glue off, and it's better to get it off when it's wet. Let's see. The hard part here might be hammering the nail in. So I think sometimes I might do that last, but it holds together better if it's nailed, I think. So try to get in here. You want to make sure that you get the nails as straight as can be, otherwise they go right through. Maybe I should just take it to the end here and start it. Okay. Well, that'll probably help me a lot more when I put together. So let's keep. Okay, got that side down. Okay, might be a little easier to prep this up. Clean off this glue so it doesn't touch the shelf. I don't plan on staining it, but you don't clean off glue. If you stain it or clear coat it, the clear coat just deflects off. other side on. Should be a little easier. A little dab of glue here. I think the kind of glue you want to buy is like wood glue. So normally you can get it any place like Walmart and stuff. But the hardware is where I've gotten the glue before. Usually you want to get one that says wood. That shit it works good if you just buy regular school glue. Let's see here. You know, it's kind of getting a little crooked. Maybe I should restart the hole. That way it'll. And it's a little bitter. Okay. Let's try it now. Okay. Readjust. Okay. Got that side on. It's a little wobbly. Maybe it needs to be hammered down a little more. Yeah, maybe I accidentally put a little dent in there. Yeah. What I may do is put another nail in it. Because it's a little wobbly. Okay, next, put on the top shelf. This one might be a lot easier now because it's all put together, most of it. Actually, let me check to make sure this is level. It might be a little off because it's slightly off. Yeah, because it's not perfectly centered, but it might look like it. It's because this wood is probably not even perfectly flat. Put a little glue on each side here. Okay. Grab a nail. Next part here. And next, the middle part. Now, hopefully it's not. Yeah, it does look a little crooked, I think. But we'll see. Let's see if this shelf fits in. Oh, the nail kind of came out there, I think. So we'll put it together. And we'll put the last two nails in. Nope. Yeah, I guess break these out now. Oh, there we go. Maybe getting a little crooked here. That's it. We'll see how unlevel it is. It might be because the table is a little unlevel. Well, the shelf looks a little perfect. It kind of off a little. Other than that, it looks pretty nice. And maybe a little crooked. Break the camera. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna look. It looks okay to me, but you know, if you're selling it, you don't want it to look like crap. I think in high school I probably did a lot different than how I do at home. I think there was other tools I used to make sure it was straight, which I don't have. Okay. And get this glue off. Finally, the last thing is to put on the little ledges here. Oops. We don't need a whole lot of glue because it is kind of small. Kind of broke one just now. These you can just cut with the scissors, and these are the balsa strips. The main purpose is to keep them from rolling off the cars. Okay. Next strip. Yeah, that's a lot of glue. I used a little too much there. It's all dripping down. Kind of broke this strip, so I don't know if I can just glue it as is, maybe. I don't want to have to cut another strip. And I use a little too much glue. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Let's see. I'll be back in a few hours maybe with this fully dried. Okay, bye for now. So here's the finished project. So that's the shelf I just made, and the one in back is the one I had before. So show you how this works is I put the cars on here. And the ledge, like I said, keeps it from falling off. Now, I think it came out a little odd, the shelf, but it's good enough for me. Some people might be more picky if it looks weird like that. As you can see, these cars aren't rolling off at all. Looking pretty good. The least you want is you want them to roll forward then backwards. If they roll backwards, you won't see them all that well. But it came out pretty nice. Won't be putting a clear coat, and might just leave it as is. But some parts of it I messed up, like this didn't glue down all that great. Neither did the top, even though I used a lot of glue. And I probably won't clear coat it, because the last time I clear coated the other one, it deflected quite a lot. Yeah. So I'll show you my other shelf. This is the other shelves I built. I built a bigger one before, and this is the shelf I built. These are two different shelves, as you can see, and they're hanging by screws. They didn't come out all that great, but they look okay. I'm able to fit like a little bit of other stuff, like in the back here. These are my Simpsons cars. I might be moving these to that new shelf, because I would like to have all the movie ones, TV show stuff, and pop culture stuff, whatever, on that shelf. As you can see, I have these Pokemon cards in the back. You can display other stuff on it too. But I mainly built this shelf with Hot Wheels in mind. Now, what I was talking about earlier in the video, these are hanging on the wall. They're not. This isn't trickery like this is just the floor or something. This is actually my wall. Now, how I got these to stick up there, I saw someone else do it on YouTube. That you just use these tack and sticks. It's usually blue. The brand I used called Loctite, I believe, and that's how I got those stuck on the wall. And they don't fall down that often, I don't think. I put them up there in January, and lately none of them has fallen. What you don't want to do is hang the big stuff. Like this truck series, this is the Walmart truck series that came out, and everybody wanted this one. The big trucks fall right off the wall. That tack and stick actually holds about 2 pounds. But I did take one down, as you can see. That one didn't fall down. I took it down because I was going to use it in a video. But anyways, you can finish up with looking at this. Let's see. Okay, we'll go to the next spot of the wall. And put these cars up. Let's go back up here. On here, I was going to have the Hot Wheels Art Car series hanging there. Wasn't sure if I was going to put the whole wall as cars. I have over 1,000 cars. And we pan over here. This is another shelf I built out of wood. That was all furring strips. And I put little feet on them. And I'll probably put like a feet on the other one too. That when I'm going to move it over here. I don't know if I'm going to move stuff around. But anyways, that was the completion of my shelf. And like, share, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day.